Hi guys, what is going on? Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to my channel where I focus on early game and mid game stuff, and welcome to this video where I'm going to give you probably the last progression update for my account. Two reasons for that. First off, I do want to just give you an impression of what you can reach or what you can do within the first 2 months of the game. And I do want to show you what I have done on my account in a pretty sweaty manner, like I have played this game very intensely. And second of all, I have reached a threshold that might be considered to be the most important threshold in the game. It used to be the transition from mid-game to end-game, but that is like 4 years ago. But it still means today that you're going to get a lot of resources and that you can play the game very differently from what I have done in the first 2 months and still get a lot of rewards and still be very efficient with your account. So I'm definitely planning to change my playing style. Like I said, it has been very intense for me the last 2 months, and I'm planning on reducing that intensity. I'm definitely planning to play this account a bit more relaxed, meaning that I'm still going to do videos, but I'm just not going to worry about losing some small rewards here or there, you know, because Clan Boss and other places give me so many rewards that I don't really need to worry about it. All right, let us talk about what I have done on this account and where we are at right now. I think we'll start with the small stuff that really made me feel that I am at a point where I can make this kind of video. I have progressed in the missions. I could be much further in these, but I don't really mind. Arbiter is a great champion, but nothing that is going to change my account at this point. That being said, she is going to be useful in Hydra, so I'm definitely going to continue to progress in this. Next up is Void Potions for me on Sunday. Then challenges. I have just completed the arena challenges, which only leaves me with the artifact challenges, and I'm going to do those on the side. Hopefully getting a legendary tome from here, but I can't really remember. It's just this small stuff, you know. Progression-wise, I think here is nothing too important to talk about. The campaign, I have just completed Nightmare campaign. I only need to do the last stage of Brimstone Path in order to get the Sacred Shard. So all these small things give me the feeling that I have really gotten to a point on my account where I can be relatively relaxed and just look at events and tournaments and see what I do want to do and what I can do. Talking about tournaments, the core of the game is still dungeons. I guess late game that differs a bit, but that very much depends on what you want to do. There is some people that play this game so intensely that they don't really use the dungeon sets anymore. But the sets that you get from Doom Tower and other places, for example, they are sometimes a bit better, but I don't think they are absolute game changers. Like Merciless from the Cursed City is absolutely amazing, obviously, which is a good example, but you can still very well get by without getting Merciless and with just using Savage from the Fire Knight. It very much depends on what your goal is in the game, and I do want to talk a bit about the necessity of really maxing out everything that you get and why I feel like it isn't necessary for me. Back to the dungeons. The biggest reason why I'm making this video today is because I was just able to do Spider Stage 20, and I'm going to do that, be able to do that consistently with Michelangelo and Elenaro spreading the debuffs and then supporters who keep them alive. I've made a separate video about this if you want to check that out, if you're interested in that. And the time that they are able to do this within 2 minutes, I think, I don't remember where, here we can see the time. Yeah, 2 to 3 minutes. Is going to be the time that they are going to be able to do this. I could try to progress to stage 24 now in all of these dungeons, but I'm not too interested in that. Spider might actually be a good idea because the time that it's going to need to take down Spider 24 is not really going to change. But stages 20 on Ice Golem in comparison to 24 is a considerable difference. And I am, as you can see, still doing 7 minutes on Ice Golem. That being said, I haven't really stressed about improving the time, but that is something that I'm going to do now. I'm just going to look at where I can improve my my dungeon stage 20 times, so that I'm just going to be able to be very efficient in events and get rewards and points and everything relatively quickly. That is going to mean that I will be able to do fusions, Titan events, all these kind of stuff. And I'm very much looking forward to be able to start accumulating resources so that everything is a bit more relaxed and that I can use the resources when I actually need them. I think the biggest threshold that I need to do now that I have been able to do Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss and Nightmare Clan Boss on a daily basis, because my Ultra Nightmare is on a 3 key and my Nightmare on a 1 key, would be Iron Twins Fortress. That is the next big thing, but I'm not going to stress about this. Yeah, I'm relatively happy with where I am at my account right now, because I have been able to upgrade quite a few champions. And I have accumulated quite a bit of gear as well. As you can see, quite a bit of speed gear. Like, it's not the craziest stuff, but it's going to be enough to survive in this game and to do what I need to do in order to collect a couple of more champions. And that's really what I'm looking for now. Just collect a few more champions and have a good time in the game. My perception gear is looking better as well. I do have some stuff ready to go here, which is pretty decent in case I get any more champions. Similarly, in the Forge, the relics, I do need to craft these relics. I have been holding back because I wasn't really looking to equip any relics on my champions anyway. I first wanted to craft everything that I have here and then decide which relic is going to be best on which champion. That is something that I'm definitely looking forward to, and something that I might actually make a video about. In terms of shards, I'm crazy stacked on shards, but this is mainly because I've only done one real shard pulling session, and that was on ancient shards, or with ancient shards, and I can't really remember. It was something about 30 ancient shards. I was crazy lucky on an event that I had to do for the Donatello fusion. Apart from that, I haven't pulled any shards on this account. One sacred. I did pull one sacred also for the Donatello fusion. But apart from that, this is what you can get during the first 2 months of playing Raid Shadow Legends. At least this is what I mean, you can probably get more, you could get less, but this is what I got playing relatively intensely. I was very lucky on Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss though. I think I got 2 or 3 sacred shards already from Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, and I've only been able to do that for a week. Round about a week. Yeah, I also got quite a few of Void shards. But I also did buy some of these. Let me quickly talk about spending money on Raid Shadow Legends, what I have spent and what has actually been useful on my account, because I think I've spent around about 60 or 70 euros. I'm not quite sure anymore, but I can tell you what packs I've bought. I did buy 2 gem packs, and I haven't used any of these gems. 2 gem packs bring us around 4,000 gems. It wasn't necessary. This was mostly because of my FOMO. I was scared that I was going to miss out, was going to be unable to do certain events that I would need to do, especially for the Donatello fusion. And I'm still happy to sit on this many gems because, you know, it can't hurt. It's always a great backup. But it wasn't necessary. I have spent money on 6 Void shards, I think. Pretty decent packs. I've made a video where I talk about what I've bought. But I haven't included everything. Like the last 2 packs I've bought, I haven't included in that video. 1 gem pack and 1 pack where I got 4 void shards, but I bought 6 in total, and that's the important thing. Haven't used them yet, and it probably wasn't necessary to buy them. I did buy 3 legendary tomes. I used those. They were useful. I did get 2 chickens in a pack as well. That was useful. But the most useful thing was definitely the apprentice pass that I got right in the beginning. I did use all the resources. I used the gear. I still use Rector Drath a ton, and I will use her far longer than that. And that was probably the most important thing. But to reach the place that I have reached, you don't need to spend a lot of money in the game. I spent little, and of the stuff that I've spent, I have used even less. Alright, that being said, Rector Draft is definitely great. I think this is a great point to talk about champions. I have been able to upgrade 12 champions to rank 6 so far. Gorm is going to be my next one today or tomorrow, so that's going to make this 13. And these champions, the different roles that they can fill really make a pretty decent account, like a pretty decent roster. I am going to be very happy to get more champions because there is definitely still very much stuff missing. I'm very much looking for a block debuffs champion on my account, if possible on a 3-turn cooldown, but we'll see what's going to be happening during the next few months. But apart from that, I'm very happy with this roster, and the turtles have really come into my account like a tornado. They have done so much for my account. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do Spider. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do 3-key Ultra Nightmare. Without them, I wouldn't be able to have these good times in certain dungeons. I'm having fun in Live Arena again because of these two. Like, the synergy of them and the strength is really amazing, and especially Donatello's cooldown reduction just changes so much on your account alongside his support that he brings anyways. I might have to do another separate video about Donatello just because he is becoming my most favorite champion in this game, actually. Alright, that is where my account is at. You can see that I'm relatively stacked overall and just in a very general position overall. My Immortal Soul Stones are definitely lacking. That's a problem. But apart from that, I'm really hoping that the Leonardo guaranteed event is not going to include Soul Stones. Or if it does, it's also going to include shards, because I can't do anything with my Soul Stones. I have a bit of stuff up here, but that's not going to be enough by any stretch of the imagination. So I really hope that the guaranteed event is going to include shards. Alright, so what is this going to mean for my playing style in the future? The great thing about Clan Boss is we get great rewards without going too crazy. Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss has already given me 3 Sacred Shards, which is yeah, a crazy amount, and looking forward, that's only going to improve. I am going to be able to do fusions and stuff and everything else, like I've already mentioned, and this really gives me the opportunity to cool down a bit. I do tend to get lost in Raid Shadow Legends, just as I tend to get lost in other computer games, just because I'm really having fun and I'm kind of consumed, and that's a great thing. But especially Raid Shadow Legends can really trigger addiction. Let's say it as clear as we can here. It can really be a game that soaks you, that sucks you in, and I think we do have to be mindful about how we play this game, because Plarium is really doing a great job of you know, incentivizing to keep playing and to play more, and to be quite honest, is not doing a very great job to help us reduce the playing time in the game. Let's be real here, they want us to play a lot of Raid Shadow Legends because that's good for them and good for the game. But I feel like it's a bit too much. There have been moves into the right direction. They have at least done some super raids for the Minotaur's Labyrinth, which helps a lot. There is super raids for other areas as well, but I think they really need to improve that further and reduce the time that we have to be active in this game, because quite frankly, I don't see myself, like, I have spent all of my keys in Faction Wars, for example, which isn't really necessary. I am usually using all of my keys in Doom Tower in order to get gear, in order to get silver, but I won't need that as much in the future, because I am already sitting at 18 million again, and that is just going to improve over time. I do tend to be very careful with my silver, at least that's what I did in the past, and therefore silver usually stacks up over time, and that means that I'm going to be able to do at least all the gear enhancement events for further for future fusions and stuff. Like, I'm not sure that I'm going to complete this one because I probably won't need the pizza points here. What I'm trying to say is it's not going to be as crucial for me if I miss out on Tag Arena in the future, if I miss out on Live Arena in the future. Like, I have built my 2 most important champions. I have built those in the gear set that I want, which is, let me just check here. Yeah, Impulse, which is Impulse. And if, like, I'm really trying to grind the Live Arena battles and do these every day, but it takes a crazy amount of time, and if I'm not going to be able to do that in the future, I don't mind too much. I think I'm going to try to treat this more as a champion collector and less of a game where I really want to progress as quickly and as efficiently as I want to, or as I can. It has definitely been fun. I do have to say it has been fun the last 2 months, but it has also been very, very draining. And it's a second job. It is a second job. I don't know how else I would call this. The amount of time and the amount of brain that you have to put into this game, I think it really exceeds what benefits we get. You know, games are games, and we should play them for our enjoyment and not as a second job. And that is really what I wanted to get to with this video. I am looking forward to keep playing this game. I am very much looking forward to continue making videos for this game. But I'm also very much looking forward to reduce the time that I do spend on this game, because I think it's too much. I think it's too much. Everybody has to decide that for themselves, of course. And I decided the last 2 months that I would go crazy on this game. There is going to be phases where I'm definitely going to be spending more time in this game again, but I will very much look out for my wallet as well, not to spend anymore. Like I said, I don't feel like you need to spend on Raid Shadow Legends, especially when you have reached certain thresholds. The next thing I'm going to look for is probably going to be Iron Twins, but I'm not too stressed about it, as I said. I'm not too stressed about Soulstone either, because pulling Soulstones is in only very small, very few situations going to give you souls that you actually need, especially when you have such a low champion pool. Like, I have so few champions. The chances of me getting a soul that I actually need are so incredibly low. I'm not too stressed about getting Soulstones, only for events, which is why I haven't opened any Soulstones yet. I'm saving these for events whenever I might need them in the future. And so I'm very much looking forward to just playing this game a bit more relaxed, having fun with the resources that I get, and enjoying more and being less crazy about the game. All right. I think that sums up my progression update. I am, like, you've seen where I am in the game, and I am happy with where I am in the game. And now it is for me mainly about improving the times in the dungeons and looking at my Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss team, and if I can improve that a bit, that's going to be interesting. Looking at the champions that I'm going to get that are going to help me in Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss and in other areas, and also just, you know, looking at faction wars and just at stuff that I feel comfortable with the progression. I've talked about these two for a bit, Sand Devil, Necropolis, and Phantom Shogun. These are not absolutely necessary resources, in my opinion. You can farm these at lower stages. Like, I have just progressed to stage 17 on Phantom Shogun so that I can do the daily quests. I will do the same for the Sand Devil. That is very nice, and it will give you the resources to upgrade just the core pieces of gear that you really need to upgrade and really want to upgrade. But I'm not going to try to upgrade all of my champion's gear. That's just not necessary, in my opinion. We can play this game very well without having everything at absolute maximum efficiency. Alright guys, I think that's it for the video. Thanks for stopping by. What do you think about the amount of time that we need to spend in Raid Shadow Legends? How much do you spend? How much do you try to spend or try to not spend? I hope you get what I'm trying to ask you here. How do you reduce your time? Because I think it really has this addiction factor to it. It definitely does. It is an amazing game. I love playing it, and I'm very much looking forward to play it a bit more relaxed in the future. Alright guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, bye.